Don't be Tory Lanez, man. This guy is the walking definition of having it all not being enough. I gotta take you back to a time where the Tory Lanez name was something that was almost like a diamond in a rough. Like I found Tory Lanez music in like 2014 when I was at work and I'm scrambling through my playlist and I'm scrambling around and I found a YouTube link that linked me to some dude with a receding hairline, fat ass forehead. I mean, golly, when I saw it on the cover, I was stunned. But I was listening to bro rap and I was hearing some of his remixes and some of his freestyles. And I'm like, oh man, nah, this guy's next. He's the truth. He's one of those. Like, he's a good alternative to the mainstream that I'm hearing right now. If he blows up, I wouldn't be mad at all. And then it started to happen. Started seeing his name more. He dropped his first album. I even have that on my original YouTube channel. Point is, I feel like I watched bro's rise. You know, in the same way that I watched Logic come up, I felt that same way about Tory. This is a guy with talent, and I know he's got a future. So when you see guys like that get an opportunity, it's like, damn, even if there is a record that you come out with that I'm not in love with, the fact that you are a success story, you're able to monetize your talents, you're able to profit off of your gifts, that is the definition of success to me. And when I see you in any capacity or in any stretch of the word thriving, even if you're making records that I'm not a huge fan of, I'm still happy and I have a smile on my face on the inside or out because you are the definition of what it means to not give up and to keep thriving. I've watched you do it. I understand fan bases and fanatics, you know. I get when they feel like they're a part of something bigger than them when they're watching somebody literally start from the dirt. When you see something like that, you're like, all your problems are solved. You've got nothing else to do, nothing else to work on. I watched you climb that ladder. That should really be your biggest obstacle. But success ain't enough for a lot of people. And I need everybody that's watching this, men specifically, to understand the money does not solve the problem. The problem is something that's deep-rooted, deep-seated, something that you need to address, something that you need to overcome, something that you need to get over. And there's no amount of studio sessions that can compensate for genuine resolutions to whatever issues that you're going through. Whether those issues be anger, short temper, trauma in whatever format, defensive mechanisms, you gotta fix all of those things along the way and actively. I have this saying that I put out there a long time ago that it's easier to run face first into a glass door and not have a whole bunch of baggage on you when you ultimately have to get up and fix yourself. Because everyone's gonna go through life and you're gonna have that moment where you walk and run face first into that glass door or into that brick wall. And when it happens, it's a hell of a lot easier to get up and not have to pick up a whole bunch of bullshit on your back along the way. You don't have time to fix it later or suppress those emotions or those feelings, and because it'll manifest in the ugliest way humanly imaginable and get you into the worst situations possible. Here we are with Tory Lanez as a huge example. Someone who allowed his emotions and ego to step far beyond human decency and threaten the life of a woman that he was dating. This guy was so cocky, so arrogant, so egotistical that he thought he could get away with it and gaslight the person that he did it to. When he ultimately went to prison for it, his fan base thought he was some type of martyr. He convinced them album after album that he was bigger than the program. He added this divine, almost biblical-like importance to his own career and life, as if to almost religiously justify his actions. This level of delusion and accountability isn't uncommon among success stories like a Tory Lanez. And obviously to the average person, you could argue he made a stupid decision, but to a guy that's been watching his career grow and flourish over the last decade, to me it means something much more. It means despite the hard life you lived up until this point, the clawing and the digging and the scraping at scraps, just to get a wink of affordable studio time to make your first big hit, to keep being in the studio every night and day, the blood, sweat, and tears it took you to get to this position, to all be thrown away over a dumb decision, to qualify that as just a simple mistake or an error in judgment, is overlooking whatever problem ultimately drove him to this point that he was willing to overlook for so many years until he got here. Yo, I'm just reminding you, those little moments where you might go off the rails, those little moments where you don't feel like you recognize yourself, those moments where you need to take a second and calm down, check in with that. Look at it. Make sure it's not a big problem. Make sure it's not affecting your relationships. Make sure it's not affecting your mental. Make sure it's not preventing you from progressing, because these things are going to happen again. You're going to find yourself in similar conflicts, dealing with similar issues, unless you take them seriously when you notice the problems. And don't be arrogant and think that you can take it all on yourself, because you can't. This is why you treat people with kindness. This is why you treat people well. This is why you treat people with respect. Not because it's just a nice thing to do, but practically speaking, you are going to need people to help you too in the future. And when you're dealing with shit that you might not be equipped to handle on your own, that is when you start tapping shoulders, asking for help. That's when you start looking around, asking for guidance. And I know this is a big one, but that's when you unfortunately start asking for forgiveness, start asking for patience. This guy Tory Lanez was just poked up in prison. An artist that I watch go from doing remixes of other niggas' songs to having his first big hit with Say It. Try to tell me in 2013 that the guy that I was listening to that made that hit single would be in prison getting poked up a decade later for shooting a woman that he claimed to care for. And niggas want to tell me it was a mistake. You just gotta keep going. For what? This is what ignoring the problem is gonna get you. This is what constant enablers around you is gonna get you. This is what yes men around you is gonna end up. I'm not trying to insinuate this stabbing is in any way related to Megan Thee Stallion either. I don't think that has any correlation at all. But I know for a fact you wouldn't be in this position in prison or in this situation in any capacity had you had a better grasp of who you are as a person and took actionable steps to prevent those pitfalls from entering into your relationships, affecting things like your judgment and your ability to care for others. I'm waiting for the skeptics. I'm waiting for those cynical individuals that don't believe anything, that don't take some things at face value. Tory Lanez was stabbed. I'm waiting for y'all to come to the front and question whether or not it's true. I'm waiting for you to come to the front and question the evidence. I'm waiting for you to come to the front and ask where his wounds are. I want the pictures. The how did you get stabbed but you don't need surgery niggas. Show me the shiv the COs took off the other inmate if he was really poked up for real. How you know he wasn't slipping on semen in there and fell on a knife himself? And I know those talking points won't be used, and he'll instead most likely be victimized and further turned into this martyr who's had an injustice done against him that wasn't due to his own act in any capacity. It was all because of a label that was afraid of his success that needed so badly to thwart him. Some of y'all that are watching this vid are talented. I promise you, you got gifts, you got skills, you got things that will become very profitable for you in the near future. I know, I looked at some of y'all material before. Some of you are great future producers, artists, directors, writers, speakers. Deal with those issues now. Deal with the baggage now while you have time to focus on it, before it manifests into something extremely ugly and puts you in positions that you cannot get out of on your own. Don't be the what happened to so-and-so guy. Develop a genuine connection with the people that are supporting you, the following that you earn from whatever gifts that you have. And I mean a genuine connection, not one based off of a narrative that you're the face of now because a whole bunch of niggas who hate women decided to collectively get together and use you as the face of the movement. And I would at least respect them niggas, man, if they said, hey, let's pool our money together and make sure that Tory Lanez's son wants for nothing. No, they'll move on to the next guy because it's not about the people, it's about the narrative. Tory Lanez, an artist that has some of the most momentum in the world, now having his life at risk in prison. This dude got a family, a son, a seed, a future he should be nurturing. And niggas talking to me about he made a mistake. Deal with the issues now. Fix it now. Acknowledge it now while you still have time, while you're not distracted by anything, while your attention isn't on anything else. Work on it now. Ask for help, ask for assistance, and tell people to hold you accountable. Tory Lanez in his current situation are the product of neglect, arrogance, and ego. An easily avoidable, life-altering decision. Shit crazy, man.